Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface and welcome back to another edition, part 2 today of what is this Williams career on Motorsport Manager. It looked last time out in Canada that we'd actually had a pretty decent result, Lance Stroll finishing in 12th place, Sergei Sorokin finishing in 14th. That was until I realised that Marcus Ericsson had finished 8th, Brendan Hartley had finished 9th in the Sauber and Toro Rosso respectively, picking up points in the very first race, something I wasn't really expecting them to do. Maybe not the Sauber, even though they have been picking up points themselves this season. I wasn't really expecting them to be able to pick up points in this game quite so early. A lot of teams, Mercedes especially, having problems with their car, which has let Force India as well score points early on. Renault sitting on 0 points. They won't stay pointless for very long. They've got the 4th best cars, Nico Hulkenberg, Carlos Sainz, competent drivers themselves. They're going to be in the points during the season, so it is imperative for us now to somehow try and work out a way to try and get points. As I have set my own rules for this game, we cannot introduce any upgrades to the car, aero parts wise, until Tondela, gearbox wise, engine wise, until Vancouver. So until those points, we might still be quite behind the rest of the pack, but hopefully we can find out a way to pick up some points going forward. We've got a decent engine. We're working on the front wing at the moment. This next part's going to take 13 days to build. That's not going to be ready until Doha's done, but we do have a couple of parts built already. Even though they've not made massive gains, we can get that up to an 806, so we're going to get the garage working on that pretty soonish. We're concentrating on working on the parts we've got at the moment, since we cannot introduce any aero parts until that point. So we're just going to go ahead and try and skip ahead. We've got these few parts building in the factory, so let's just skip ahead a couple of days. We're going to have the car repair complete, so let's just have a quick look at what's going on here. They're pretty much done now. Reliable enough. What else do we have? 80%. We were pretty alright with the reliability, but we might just go on these few bits of Lance Stroll's now, and this one part of Sorokin's car. But we're going to sort of more concentrate towards performance of these parts, try and catch up with a few of the teams. It's going to take a long time to do this, and we should be getting some upgrades in the car by that point. So I don't think there's very much to do now other than getting into the Grand Prix in Bahrain in Doha. It's going to get us all the way there. Just a couple of mail to get through, report on the upcoming race. Low speed corners. So Doha, what is it? It's top speed useful and everything else. The engine's the only good part that we've got. It's not crucial here, so I'm guessing we're really going to be struggling during this race. But we're going to jump into practice and qualifying, so we'll be back in a moment and we'll be going through the qualifying grid. So here we go with the grid for the 2018 Doha Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel in first place, parking that Ferrari in the firm first place on the front row of the grid, followed by Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull car. Third place on the second row of the grid, Nico Hulkenberg having an absolute stormer in the Renault, getting himself up to third. And then the fellow Ferrari, the second Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen in fourth place. On the third row of the grid, Fernando Alonso having a great time in his McLaren car, getting up to fifth. Mercedes struggling around the Doha track, sixth place for Lewis Hamilton and Esteban Ocon. Force India in the Mercedes customer team, 7th place ahead of the works team. Valtteri Bottas in his Mercedes, 8th place. An absolute shocker there for Mercedes, really, in qualifying. And then bad news for us, Toro Rosso, Brendan Hartley up into 9th. He's possibly going to be scoring points again this race. And the Force India of Sergio Perez up in 10th. Force India having a really good qualifying session there. The Toro Rosso of Pierre Gasly, another bad sign for us here. 11th place, Max Verstappen. Underperforming here, really, considering Ricciardo got himself up into second. 12th place only for Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc in the Sauber, 13th. Kevin Magnussen in the Haas, 14th. Carlos Sainz, considering Nico Hulkenberg did really well in third place, is only 15th. Van Dorn as well, way behind his teammate Fernando Alonso as well, 16th place for him. And then we've got our first car, Sergei Sorokin, 17th place in the Williams car, Roman Grosjean in 18th, and then we've got Lance Stroll in 19th following him, the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson. I'm not too displeased with 17th and 19th for nearly all of qualifying session. We were a long way behind, sat in 19th and 20th for nearly the whole qualifying session. But Sauber, Toro Rosso have got a few cars up, well, one car at least up near the points already. So if things aren't going too well near the end of the season, or even by the time we get to like the Canadian Grand Prix, Vancouver, the equivalent of Montreal, If we're still not performing, then we might have to start thinking about bringing Kubica into the team. Lance Stroll is down into 18th here from the start. So Sorokin making a pretty decent start, gets himself up into 15. He's trying to go around the outside. He's 16th, currently behind Max Verstappen, who's had a shocker of a start. And then we see Marcus Ericsson flying up the inside. He gets himself up 17th. Looks like Lance Stroll's in 19th, 18th. No, yeah, that's Lance Stroll there. That's a Haas car. They look remarkably similar here because the livery is not quite up to par. It's the only team that isn't Williams. Hopefully we can get that sorted out for next season when we get to change our livery. But let's speed this up a little bit. The weather is quite hot here. No, it's actually cooled down from qualifying. It was 29 degrees in qualifying. It's actually cooled down, so the tyre wear might be a little bit better. We've come out on the softs because I was hoping to try and pick up a few places from the start, because if you look, the pit lane here is really short. It only takes about 12 seconds to get in and out of the pits from entering the pit lane to exiting the pit lane. So a two-stop strategy here, even though we could have one stopped, we could easily pick up that 12 seconds for another stop if we push through a couple of sets of these tyres. Maybe if we go soft and then do a middle stint on the hard, that we push really hard on these, push hard on the hard tyre and then finish off on a medium or another soft. That is sort of the plan here. Try and change something up a little bit different to try and get up into the points. Whether that's going to work for us or not, it's going to have to remain to be seen. But we're going to continue pushing as we are. Lewis Hamilton, meanwhile, has made a really good start. Got himself up into second place here. Force India of Ocon. Where's Hulkenberg? Hulkenberg's dropped down to 7th. Alonso's dropped down the order. You got Gasly in the points. Where is Hartley? Up in 6th, so we've got both Toro Rossos in the points. Leclerc, thankfully, just outside the points at the moment. If you didn't see the first part of the first video, we do have the AI level set to +3, so they do have quicker cars than normal. It's not set to 0, so things are a little bit harder, which is why we're qualifying. The race, if you put it to +3, it sort of forces you to be around where you should be. Sort of. At 0 it can become a little bit too easy sometimes, but anyway, Lance Stroll making a few moves here. He's up into 16th place. He should be able to get past Charles Leclerc, who's starting to drop down the order now. Maybe we're going to have to start pushing these tyres a little bit since we're sort of working it out. Can we get to about lap 6 on this tyre? It's starting to heat up because is the weather getting hotter? No, it's still 24 degrees, but we're still getting these tyres a little bit hot. They started to cool down at first, but they're getting a little bit hotter as the track grip starts to get through here. Lance Stroll, meanwhile, makes a move on Max Verstappen and makes a move. No, he doesn't. He's fallen down the order with Lance Stroll. He's battling with Sorokin, is he? Got both cars. Stroll seems to have made a hell of a mistake there. I don't know what happened to him. He just seems to slow down. Meanwhile, Sorokin and Stroll coming back at him as well. We've got our two cars fighting it out here. Should we tell Lance Stroll to push here to try and get him ahead a little bit? We don't want these tyres around the same. We don't want them pitting on the same lap, do we? So we're going to try and get Lance Stroll ahead here a bit. Even though Sorokin's on one sort of putting up. Sorokin, Bottas has fallen way down. What's happened to Bottas as well? He's all the way down here. We've got a Renault behind us as well. Excuse me. It's going to be a real struggle there. We see Bottas going down. We've got a Mercedes and a Red Bull all the way down here that we're battling with for some reason. And there we go. We're into 19th and 20th now. It's great. Just what we needed. This is going to be a really long, hard season. We're going to get Sorokin conserving a little bit, whereas we're going to keep pushing with Lance Stroll here. He's in 19th. We're a long way behind these cars. We can't really battle with the Renault. We've not got the power. The Haas of Magnussen. Just no chance here. Just got to try and make it stick somehow through our strategy. So should we get Stroll in early here? Should we risk it? He's going to be coming out 20th. Should we try undercut a little bit? Should we go this extra lap? No, we'll get him in. We'll get him on his next part of the strategy. 15% is a little bit risky. Maybe we've got some tired pit crew. Maybe we should have had a look for that. But Stroll's going to come in this lap. Sorokin now can go back into push mode. He's going to stay out another 2 laps. Decent pit stop there. We're not going to be able to get these tyres to the end of the race. So we're going to just go, yeah, we'll go overtake mode for a couple of laps. Just see where we can get him up to. Sorokin, meanwhile, he's just trailing behind these other cars. He's just going to be pushing for another lap. So we'll just speed this up. He's battling with the cars, but nowhere near getting... No, his tyres are going to be going as well. So no, we'll get him on to the next part of his strategy as well. A little bit early. We do get up into 18th though, Verstappen. problem with him as well. So here goes Sorokin into the pits. We see Stroll coming round. They're going to be close together on the exit. No, Sorokin looks to have lost a little bit of time there. Although maybe that's just because of Lance Stroll pushing. So Stroll up into 19th. We're about 7-ish seconds behind Verstappen. So we were looking to make up a little bit of time here. We might be able to get ahead of a few of these cars, although it looks like the AI might be trying to stretch out to a one-stop strategy. We're just going to try push through this hard tyre now. Excuse me again. Can't stop coughing today. So Stroll, we're closing in on these cars. Can we make this strategy work, this two-stop strategy work? We're seeing one Renault car into the pit. That is Nico Hülkenberg. And we get out just behind him. So that's quite a lot of time we've picked up there to get behind Hülkenberg. He's gone to the medium tyres, so he's two-stopping, I would presume, from this. We're going to just ease off on these tyres now for a little bit. Starting to get a little bit too hot. We don't want them to wear away too quickly, so are we going to see some other cars start coming into the pits? Got Ferrari in. Is that about it? Just one Ferrari in. Feeds back out into 13th place, battling with Charles Leclerc. In the Sauber managed to get back past him. He's come very soft, so they're two stopping as well. So has this undercut worked on these other teams? So we can get back into attacking now. We've cooled these tyres down a little bit. Can we just keep up with this field? We've got a few cars into the pits. No, we're still all the way down. Still keeping up with Verstappen though. Can we avoid finishing? Can we avoid finishing down here? We've got Carlos Sainz coming into the pits. We've managed to catch him up already. He's going to do his stop. So after one round of stops, we are up into 17th and 18th. We've still got a few cars to come in. We could be making up to about these points, so it looks like we're making this stick, so we're going to go back down to conserve with these tyres. Just try and cool them down. We don't want them wearing away too quickly. Although we can... I did really want to get onto a medium to finish this race. We might still be able to do that, or should we go back onto another pair of hard tyres? We don't seem to be that slow on these hard tyres. A 153. No, what are we lapping at? 13, 153. We don't seem to be that too much slower on these hard tyres compared to the medium tyres, so maybe we should go hard for the next round of pit stops as well. It seems to have worked out this time getting in early. We're currently 14th and 15th. Can we move up the order here? We've just got both our cars working sort of together. We've got Sorokin just following behind Lance Stroll here. We've got a couple of cars ahead. Magnussen still has to come into the pits as well. We will be able to get past him once he pits. Is he going to try one stop? We've got both Force Indias still up in the points here. More importantly, Hartley and Gasly are out of the points, so we're up into 13th and 14th, are we? Is that going to stick? Yes, it is, but we're behind Hartley still. He's gone for the hard tyre, so it looks like the Toro Rosso is going to one stop. It might be that a lot of these other ones are going to try and one stop, so we're going to go overtake mode now, and we're going to push all the way until we need to do our next pit stop. Sort of see where we feed back out. Another Force India's been into the pit, so that's the first pit stop for Perez. He's one stopping as well. So we're currently doing pretty well. Whether we're going to be able to make this stick or not is another question. So we're going to get Stroll into the pits. Should we go? Yeah, we'll do this, and then we can just push through the tyre. We've managed to do 9 laps this time until they're worn down. So we can sort of push for 1 lap on this tyre, and then we'll just let them go as normal until towards the end of the race. So Stroll moves up there past Alonso as well. Sorokin's tyres are warm, but that's alright because he's going to be coming into the pits this next time. We're going to finish our strategy. He's going to do the same. Overheated. Mistake on the front right tyre. He's out into 20th place. So where's he feeding out? We'll just have to wait and see where he's going to feed back if any of these other cars actually do come into the pits. Sorokin, meanwhile, he's going to come into the pits as well. He's making moves as well, getting up the field. 10th, 9th place as he comes into the pits. Where's he going to feed back out? Obviously, he's not made a mistake. We've actually got a car behind us. That is Magnussen. Leclerc is in the pits as well. So he comes out ahead of Lance Stroll this time. And Stroll is going to have to watch these tyres now. We don't have to start recovering fuel just yet. Sorokin's got a lap of pushing here. He's in 17th place. We're definitely not going to pick up the points we need, but we might be able to get a decent finish. Whether we can make this stick or not is another question. Hopefully some of these cars, we're going to be seeing Hulkenberg into the pits. He's going to fall behind us when he pits. Van Dorn might need to pit by the end of the race. Sainz is going to need to pit. These other ones on the hard tyres might not need to, but we might be able to catch them being on the fresher tyre, although not really that much of a fresher tyre. So we'll just let this run a little bit quicker for now. I don't think much is going to be happening before the end of the race. We might just even be sticking to 17th and 18th here. We're getting towards 8 laps left, so that means we need to start recovering this fuel now as well. Condition wise, everything seems to be running alright. Yep. So up into 16th and 17th, we've got cars in the bit there. Hulkenberg in. Grosjean has... he must have gone a really long time. He's only just come into the pits. He did. He managed to get 18 laps out of that hard tyre. He went a very long time on that hard tyre to Grosjean. But up into 16th and 17th, we're going to be able to get past Sainz maybe. So maybe 15th, 16th is going to be our limit today. Let's just try and get this through to the end of the race. It looks like we've got a little bit of life to push as well on this tyre now, so we'll push for a few laps. We've got a little bit more room to push with Sergei Sorokin, haven't we? So we'll just see what sort of lap times he's putting in at 153.7. 2 seconds quicker than Marcus Ericsson at the moment. I'm going to be able to keep that up. As we see, they come around for another lap. We've got a McLaren in the pits, but he managed to get back out. So we just did a 152.5. So we're about a second quicker than Marcus Ericsson still. About quite a bit quicker than a lot of these teams, really. So can we just push from this point? Can we try and just go all out to try and gain these few places? Points are what we need, so we've sort of got to try and risk everything for points. So we'll have to keep pushing these tyres up into 14th. Definitely not going to be up into the points because we need to catch Van Dorn, who's 6 seconds ahead of us, although he might need to pit. A couple of these tyres are getting worn down for these guys that are on the hard tyres, although we're definitely not going to be lapping quicker than Roman Grosjean. A lot of these other cars now started getting themselves back up into sort of decent lap times. Stroll, meanwhile, has gone behind Magnussen. He's pushing on these tyres. We can't really do all else with Stroll, but Sorokin 13th place, just Gasly, Grosjean ahead. We've got the Toro Rosso in the points, so where is Leclerc down in last? Ericsson. It looks like we're going to have to be battling with Sauber is going to be our main priority, because it looks like Toro Rosso have hooked it all together. They're going to be scoring points this season quite a few times, I would guess. So we're coming up to the final few laps now. Stroll's up into 16th. Hulkenberg, who was 3rd on the grid, is down in 17th place. So 13th and 16th wouldn't be too bad of a result ordinarily, but because we're trying to chase Sauber down, who somehow managed to score points in that first race, we do need points. But as I said at the start of the race, if we're still not scoring points by the time Vancouver rolls around, Sorokin managed to get up into 12th there. Yes, he does. That was Brendan Hartley was pitted, so he's gone outside the points now. He could have possibly made that tyre last till the end of the race. So we've got Gasly ahead. We've got no chance of catching Grosjean, but we've got a lap to go. These tyres are getting pretty... I'll just dial back on these tyres a little bit. We might be going high mode on the fuel for the last lap. Are we going to be... No, don't go to Stroll. I know your tyres are at 30%. Can we make this position stick? And can we get past Gasly and make it stick on this last lap? Let's just push here and go high mode, overtake mode. And go high with Stroll as well. You know, it doesn't matter. Grosjean is quite a bit further down the road. So Vettel is going to win this race. The Force India of Ocon in 2nd. Hamilton done well to get up into 3rd. Yeah, so 12th place ordinarily wouldn't be too bad, but points are what are needed. Sauber, did they have 4 points, or was it Hartley that scored 4 points? I think it was Sauber, so somehow we need to pick up 4 points. We're sort of there, we're sort of getting towards the points. It's 2 that are nearly there, but maybe we do need to start thinking about bringing Robert Kubica in if we haven't scored any points after we've brought our full upgrade packages in by Vancouver. Maybe once we get those upgrade packages in the car, then we can start thinking seriously about challenging for some points. But until that point, I think this is going to be how it's going to be unless we get some luck with weather, safety cars, any sort of good luck like that. As you can see in the Drivers' Championship, we're not doing too badly, 15th and 16th. It's just when we get to here, we're still above Renault, but Renault aren't going to stay pointless. Somehow we need to get more than 4 points to get above Sauber, and that's without them scoring more points throughout the season. Somehow we need to try and think of a way of doing that. Maybe that is bringing in... Oh, fitness. What's happened to Lance Stroll? Dodgy neck for 8 weeks. So that looks like Kubica might be coming in a little bit earlier than expected. That has only taken Stroll further down. So maybe that gives us an excuse to try Kubica in the car. Stroll will possibly still be doing practice. But Kubica might take his seat for the race. That way we do get half of the purse for the sponsorship of Lance Stroll. Then we won't be losing too much money. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be getting Kubica into the team for the next race. 2.5 stars, drop Stroll even further. So Kubica gets a chance to stake his claim here, even though we were talking about Vancouver. We do have an injury to Lance Stroll, so China is in just over 2 weeks. We've got rain in practice and qualifying. Maybe we can get some out of qualifying there with the rain. I don't know, but we should be getting Kubica in the car next time round. We've got an interview with Karun Shanduk from Channel 4. Oh, Lance Stroll's claimed that your brakes, he needs to button it. Yeah, go away, Lance. Neck issues, dodgy neck. Vettel wins the Doha Grand Prix, and the front wing build is now finished, which we can get to an 826. So should we build the next part of the front wing? We can. It is this one and this one. Although it increases the red zone, does that one, doesn't it? It's possibly something we want to do towards the end of the season. There's a risky part. Can we do that? No, we haven't got the wind tunnel at level 3 yet. So that is something we're going to leave to the end of the season. So since we're going to be introducing aero upgrades, which includes the front wing, the rear wing, what other parts should we include? So we'll say these 3 are the parts we can include at Vancouver to work on. We can include the suspension of the rear wing sort of with the aero package. So what can we get? A 25 max, and then we can do a plus 40 on the rear wing as well. So maybe that is going to be what we aim for, whereas this we can only do a plus 10 and a... Yeah, there's not much we can do in the way of the suspension. So rear wing is what we're going to concentrate on next. We're going to get that started building. Before we end this episode, that's about where we're going to end. We're just going to have a quick look who is available scouting wise for the pit crew. Nothing there. 20% for Schmitz. He must be the one that made the mistake last time out. He's on tyres. We'll swap him for Ox Toby. Still at 1.5 seconds. We've got some other tired crew members as well, but we'll just check that before we get to Beijing. But other than that, that is it for this episode of this Williams career, the resurrection of Williams. Whether we can do that before the end of this season, things aren't looking too good at the moment, but hopefully we can start getting some results going our way. Hopefully one of those results will come in China, where the engine plays a bit more of a part here, and we've got one of the better engines, 5th best overall. So maybe we might see a little bit change in fortune. Maybe we can actually qualify decently for once, but there is going to be rain in qualifying, it looks like. But anyway, until that point, we'll be leaving things there. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. All the rest, thank you everyone for commenting. It's great to be back doing videos once again. But until next time in China, I will see you down the road, and goodbye.